when Forrest Gump bought those Apple shares, it was because he was courageous. When those two guys you met, your boyfriend met last night, when they're posting this stupid shit, is it because they're courageous?
I think that, to be honest, they want easy money. So they kind of see, oh, this is working. Let's put our effort there. So I
It's
guess,
I don't think it's coming from courage.
but I also need to like from whatever place is coming, they are posting things and they are having also haters and they are going through that even though they have those negative comments, let's say. So I don't know how exactly they are doing that, but it shows some capabilities, at least not to go too deep into that in that direction.
So when I was younger, I always look up to these people and
Hmm.
be like, "Oh my gosh, they're so courageous." Oh, wow. It wasn't until like later on I realized it's not that they're courageous; they're just dumb. They don't know better. That's why they're not scared. Like the
Hmm.
like the reason why children don't get scared is because they haven't experienced enough failures yet. Do you understand what I mean? And that's the reason why they'll touch something and like that's why a baby walks up to the cliff and like will just fall
Mm.
off if nobody watches them because they don't know better. They don't know what they don't know, right? And when you don't know, like with ignorance comes courage. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's why I made that post with Forrest Gump, right? And it's because for me that was an aha moment. For me, it was an aha moment that okay, I'm I am my biggest enemy because what I'm doing, and also like you fast forward a little few years, what I realized is that whenever I'm over planning in the future, when I actually just say okay, fuck it and do it, I go back and I look back and I'm like, all those. I'm a programmer, so when you code, you have to think about case scenarios. If somebody clicks this, then what
Hmm.
happens? And then from
Hmm.
here, what happens? And it goes to an infinite number of things that can happen, right? And once you make one little error here, like later on, when you have a million users doing that, you can have a million different problems, right? So I used to overthink the shit out of everything and be like,
Hmm.
oh, yeah, but what if 3 years later this happens and now we have this much CPU and blah, blah, blah. I'll think about problems that are like 5 years out, right? And that's kind of what you do when you're a programmer. But what ended up happening is in 5 years, we ended up just rebuilding the whole thing because we got investment. The client got $20 million investment, hire all these programmers and just re-engineer the whole thing. So it didn't, I was worrying about problems that didn't even matter.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
started seeing so many programmers like that, be like, yeah, but we need to think about this. It was like, by that time, you're either going to be out of business or you would have funding so you can fix all of that. Like you're literally trying to solve problem that's not never going even going to happen.
Mm.
But we don't think that way, right? So this is what I mean by why life experience is so important in trying to reverse engineer to try to fit the right myth and truth, right? So for example, if like right now, if I were to speak to somebody like you, the shallow way of somebody who hasn't learned the lesson themselves, who just
Hmm.
listen to something and tell you, be like, you just got to jump in and have courage and have confidence, right?
Yeah.
Like, none of them is going to work for you. Well, none of those
Mm.
advice is going to work for you. I know for a fact. Why? Because it's not like you didn't hear that before.
Yeah.
You still didn't do it, right?
Mm.
I have to logically explain to you what the thing that you're doing wrong in order for you to actually have courage, right? And one of the ways I can do it is to show you why dumb people succeed. Like
Hmm.
it's because they don't think about problems 5 steps ahead, and they just take the first step because they're dumb, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're kind of smart because the problem that you think is going to happen 5 steps away, there's almost 0% chance that that problem is actually going to happen,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
once you realize that, Is it easier for you to take that first step? I mean, it's still going to be hard.
Yeah, at least because for exactly, for me, courage is to give up a little bit. So just not to do 3%, to do 3% less than what I did before.